expertise or advertising studio as well. So I'm sure that you would better introduce yourself to our amazing audience over here. So I'm going on mute and over to you, Nicole.
Great, thank you. Okay, so today we are going to review a little bit about the functionalities or the features of Advertising Studio. But first, just a little introduction. I am Nicole Anaya. I'm a current solution architect at Devs United and also marketing champion. I'm certified in Pardot, Marketing Cloud, and Datorama. So if you have any questions or something regarding any of the platform, I'm able to help you. Great. So we are going to review today Advertising Studio. We have 3 features in which I'm going to go a little deep. So the first one is advertising audiences. The second one is advertising in Journey Builder. And the third one is lead capture. So the first one, advertising audiences. So this is a feature that will allow you to use your Marketing Cloud data to send audience to Twitter, Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, and Pinterest. And you not only are able to do it by using that extension, but you will also have the possibility to use topic profiles, the ones that we saw with in the previous session. So you can use Marketing Cloud data to send information to all these ad networks, but also the social listening that you are going to be doing in Social Studio. So this is a good way to automate the process of sending data. If you, for example, every weekend you are sending the data and you have to manually import this information, well, Social Advertising Studio is going to help you to automate this process. And also, for example, if you have any specific information about other channels, for example, someone that receive a push notification or someone that open another email, well, all that information, you will be able to pull it from Marketing Cloud to all these advertising platforms in a really easy way from Marketing Cloud. Great. So first, we are going to connect our accounts. That's the first part that we need to do before start using advertising audiences. So you do that in the admin tab. We're going to do a little demo in a moment, but first I want to talk about this specific consideration when you are going to connect your accounts, when you are going to also create your audiences. So the first thing is that you have to connect your accounts. You do that in the administration tab. So in here, as you can see, you have the possibility to connect Facebook, Google, Twitter, LinkedIn, Social Studio, and Pinterest. Social Studio, you have the possibility to connect it, but not to send advertising through Social Studio, but to listen to the people or to bring to Marketing Cloud the people who are listening specific keywords. So all these social networks are for publishing the audiences, but this Social Studio is to take information to, after that, use it in Twitter specifically. So in this page, the only functionality that it has is actually to connect your accounts. It is pretty easy. You only click on the bottom and you will see a page to put your credentials. So the user that has the responsibility to connect your accounts must be a Marketing Cloud administrator and also has to be enabled as an API user. So that's just one consideration. Before you start to connect, you have to make sure that the user that is going to do the connection has the right permissions. Okay, so the next thing is you make sure you have the right permissions, and now you are going to connect your accounts. So for example, you have in here Facebook. Facebook will allow you to do Facebook desktop and mobile news feeds, Instagram, and Facebook audience network. For Google, you will be able to do GDN, Google Search, YouTube, Google Shopping, and Gmail, but it does not include DB360. For Twitter, you have Twitter feed and Twitter published network. For LinkedIn, you have, well, the LinkedIn feed, and for Pinterest, you will be able to promote in pins. When you want to connect all these networks, it is not only important to know what are you going to be able to do after you connect, but also the necessary permission that you have to have with the user that you are going to do the connection. So as you can see in here, all of them needs like an admin or they equals as an admin in the other platform, like an account manager and account admin in each platform. If you don't have this access, you won't be able to connect it. So it is an important consideration that you have to have before the connection. Another important thing, this is specifically for Google, you can have accounts with read-only access. You can connect that account, but when you try to connect, when you try to create the audience, you will get an error. So that's an important consideration. Right. So with that, you only click the logo of the specific ad network that you want to connect, and you will put the credentials, and that will be it. If you have the right permissions, we are ready to start to create our audience. I'm going to show that in Marketing Cloud in a moment, but first I want to show it in here because I want that you hear like some specific considerations. But the first thing that you are going to do is select your ad audience, your ad account. So in here, you select, okay, which is your destination is Facebook, Google, Twitter, Pinterest. And after that, your ad account. Also, it is important that you put a name that it is actually following a naming convention, so you can easily find this audience in your ad account, because this is the name with which that audience is going to be created in your ad account. Great. So in here, after you select your ad account, you will go and select which is your source. In here, you have the possibility to select an ad extension from Marketing Cloud, a list of contacts that is mostly for mobile connect contacts, like mobile connect and mobile push contacts. And also, if you are using an ad account in here, that it is Twitter, in here you will see also this specific functionality, that it is Social Studio topic profile. In here you can see that, well, I have a list of my data extensions. So in here you only are going to select which is going to be your audience. It is important that you know that this audience has to have a minimal amount of contact, because there is a minimum requirements of matches for each account. For example, Facebook requires a minimum of 20 matches, of 20 matches. Twitter has a minimum requirement of 500 matches. Google Ads ecosystem requires a minimum of 1,000 matches. LinkedIn at 300, and Pinterest 100 matches. So it is important that you take this into consideration before selecting your audience. But because if you know that that audience or that extension or that topic profile has the minimum, maybe it will cause error because it doesn't have enough data to do the matches. Like, consider if you are connecting or selecting ad extension that has the minimum, the matches are going to be lower than the minimum. So you always want to select the one that has enough data to be able to be a significant or an important data extension or important audience in your ad account. Great. So the next step is you have to do the mapping of the attributes. So each social network will allow you to map according to the different attributes that have available in each network. For example, we know that Facebook and Instagram is the one that has most attributes to connect. So for example, you have email, phone, mobile advertising, and Facebook app or user ID. Those are standard unique attributes. So you have to have at least one of them to connect. But you also have advanced match data points. So for example, you have in here first name, last name, city, state, country. So that will allow you that if some of this information of the standard unique attribute is not enough, you will have this as a possibility to expand your audience or improve the matches. So that's a really good thing that has Facebook and Instagram. The other thing that you have in here is for Twitter. Twitter, you do the match by email, device ID, or Twitter ID. For Google, you will have the matches, well, using the email. And for LinkedIn, also the email, and for Pinterest, also the email. As you can see, most of them are pretty basic, but the one that has the most possibilities to use different IDs or attributes is Facebook. Great. So in here, you do the mapping. And also for specifically Facebook, you could do also lookalikes. In this case, it is if you have an audience that you want to listen, but you have your own prospects and you want to create some that are similar to your current prospects, for example. So in that case, you have this lookalike feature that will allow you to create lookalikes for reach, or for similarity. So in this case, similarity will allow you to find the audience that it is more similar to your current audience. So you will have a less size of the audience, but it is going to be maybe more accurate regarding the attributes that you have. But also you can do like reach. If you're not interested, for example, okay, I don't care if it is so accurate, but I care that it is a bigger audience. Okay, so this will be the option for you. So this is a possibility for Facebook. I know some other networks have lookalike in their original platform, but currently it is only available for Facebook. And the last thing that you have to do in here, it is you have set up the notification. So, for example, if any event occurs with the audience, you will get an email. Or if you don't want receive an email anytime, you can select in here just to be notified when the audience is uploaded, or when the audience is refreshed, or when an audience occurs. I think that maybe the last one is the most important, because you want to be aware if something, an error occurs to your uploading the data, but that will be great. And the last thing that you want to do is active your audience. So in this case, you can do it by 2 ways. You can do it manually, or you can refresh it automatically and schedule the refreshes. So you have in here available 1 week at a specific time that you define, or 1 day, or 1 month, or everything that you can define it in here. Great. So after you activate the audience, you have to be a little patient, because it depends of the size of the audience, how long it will take to be reflected in your ad account. And you have to also consider that, as we saw in here, you have a minimum, but it is important that to be actually a relevant audience, it has to be more than the minimum. Because if not, maybe you will see some audience reflected in your ad account, but it is not going to be very relevant for your purposes. Great. So that's the step by step. And now we're going to see it in here. You will have, when you go into Marketing Cloud, you will find Advertising Studio in here. As you can see, we have advertising audiences, that it is the one that we are reviewing right now. And we have also lead capture, that is the one that we are going to review in a moment. So the first one, advertising audiences. We're going to close this. And in here, as you can see, you have the administration tab. You have in here your settings, that are the ones that I already mentioned. It is so easily to connect that you only click in there and you will see the pop-up to enter your credentials. Great. So in here you have all your overview, the overview of your advertising audiences. In here you have the audiences that you have already active or in draft or with an error. All those audiences that you were working with in here. Also, it is important that you know that you have a limited amount of audiences that you can create. This amount is defined by the contract that you have with Salesforce. So it is important, if you currently don't have advertising audience, that you define this amount before the purchase. But if you already have advertising audiences and you have already a defined amount, that you know this amount, because if not, you are maybe trying to create, and this will not allow you because you don't have enough audiences. So maybe you could, if you have a limited amount of audience, you can prioritize the ones that you have to upload through Marketing Cloud and the ones that you could still upload through the original ad account. Great. So in here you can see that we have 5 audiences available actually for this environment, and we have 2 live and we have 3 available. Here you can see that actually you don't see the 2 that are live because we have multiple business units in here. But that's important to know, because you will see here all the purchase for all the business units, not only for this specific business unit. Great. So in here you have some extra filters to look for your audiences. And in here, we will go and create our audience. For example, this is a demo, so we will put the name. You could add a description in here. You could select an onboarding partner. If you want to select an onboarding partner, you have to upload a case, a Salesforce case, to enable this feature. You choose in here the destination, the account, and you click in here in configure. As you can see, you have available data extension and contacts. That's because it is a Facebook account. But remember that if you will have, for example, a Twitter account, you will have also the social listening feature in here to be able to pull data from social listening and use it to create an audience here in Advertising Studio. Great. So in here, for example, we're going to select an audience. I think we have here. And in here, as you can see, I will do the map. First, this is for Facebook specifically. I'm going to select which is the origin of my data. So for example, provide by user, by partners, or both. In this case, we're going to use by users, and we're going to do in here the mapping. So we use email address and we use first name. Remember that for Facebook, you have to use at least one of the unique identifiers. But Also, you can use all these optional identifiers to make your to improve the matching rate of your audience. So in here, you have also ad account again. And in here, this is for Facebook specifically, you have the possibility to create your lookalike audience. So in here, you only have to put the name, lookalike demo, for example, and you select which type of lookalike do you want. For example, optimize for reach or optimize for similarity. And in here, you can select the country. Give me a second. I have to select something. Great. And in here, as you can see, you can create many lookalike in the same audience configuration. Great. So you decide, okay, I want to receive a notification only after an error occurs, and you put in there your email to receive this notification. But if you want to receive everything happen, well, you will put in here your information. Great. After that, you could select, give me a second. In here, active. And you have these options. So that will be the process for creating an audience. Remember that the time to populate this information in your account, it will depend of the size of your network and which is the network that you are using. And be patient because it can take like 24 hours or 48 hours. So it actually depends. If your audience it is not that big, it shouldn't take too long, but you will have to wait a little bit. Okay, so in here I am in a Twitter Twitter audience. So as you can see, I have this social studio topic profile enabled. So in here I can select. And I have in here the possibility to select the attribute. In this case, I only have the Twitter ID. So that's okay because I will get the Twitter's ID from Social Studio. And in here, as you can see, the configuration is even easier than in Facebook because you don't have so much as a mapping, or you don't have to select the data origin, or you don't have to select also the or you don't have the possibility to create lookalikes. So this is pretty simple, and after that you will click on activate. Great. So go back to the presentation. There are many useful use cases for this feature. One of those cases are to use it as suppression audiences. For example, you don't want to be sending an ad to someone that maybe has an open case in Service Cloud that he is not very happy with your product, for example, or with your service. So maybe you want to exclude those. Also, for example, if you are doing a retargeting through many medias, if they already engage with email or SMS, you could exclude them from impacting them or to send advertising to them by creating a suppression audience. Also in here, you have if someone already purchased or your service or product, you don't want to continue sending advertising to them. So that will be another good example for suppression audiences. After that, you have target audience that may be someone that recent purchase, but you want to do, for example, cross-selling or upselling. That will be a good idea. Or also, for example, you are trying to send different emails, but they are not reading your emails. Okay, that will be a good idea to try another channel. And maybe that channel could be Google Ads or Facebook Ads. Great. So also, you have lookalike audiences, and some example for this will be you could, for example, take your best customers to be an example for create these lookalikes, and to send to the ones that are similar to the best customer, for example, specific VIP programs. Or for example, you could take as an example the ones that that maybe are not the ones that perform the best with your product, because you maybe want to do a special offer or something like that. So these are really good use cases that you have for this functionality. That's about the first one. The second one is advertising in Journey Builder. So this is, as many of you may know, Journey Builder is a feature that will allow you to create like automatic journeys with multi-channel features to send an email, to send a push notification, advertising audiences, and taking data from Marketing Cloud, from Sales, Service Cloud, also from a cloud page, for example. So this is a really powerful feature. It is really easy to configure. It is multi-channel, and you can create this personalized path. For example, if someone opens an email, or if someone has different attributes, for example, if some clients are VIP and other clients are common clients, you could create different paths for each type of client. And also an important thing it is that it is integrated with Salesforce Core. I mean, Sales Cloud, Service Cloud. So you can use directly data from Sales Cloud or Service Cloud or Community Cloud to be an audience of this whole journey. Great. So in here, we have two possibilities or two steps enabled. The first, I'm going to show it in here. Give me a second. We're going to go in here. We are going to create a multi-step journey. And in here, as you can see, I have my white canvas with many activities. But first, you have to select your entry source. In here, you first select your data extension. For example, we are going to select this one. Yeah. Great. So I have already my data extension. It is important that you select it before, because we are going to be doing here the creation of the audience. And for the creation of the audience, you need to be able to map an attribute. For example, the email or the IDs that are the ones that we have seen in here, but now you will have the possibility to do it through Journey Builder. So in here, for example, you have add audience, and you also have add campaign. So add audience will be the same that we were seeing in here, but to be able to do it in an omnichannel campaign. So for example, in here, you could put like, okay, I'm going to send an email, and in here, I could put, I'm going to need a wasted first. And after that, I could put like my engagement split. And to the people who doesn't open my email, I'm going to send, I'm going to create an add audience. Great. So in here, you have the possibility to put the name. For example, in here, you could do cross-selling or abandoned cart. And as you can see, it is the same as in the previous in here, but in a different layout. You can have in here your description, and in here you will have all the social networks that you have available in here. So in this case, as you can see, I have Facebook and Twitter. So in here, I can select Facebook, for example. And I'm going to select my ad account in here. And I'm going to select also the origin. Remember that this is only required for Facebook. And in here, you can do the mapping of your attributes. And as you can see, it's the same thing as you saw before, but inside a journey. So this is important because you will be able to create more omni-channel campaigns. And for example, use the previous engagement of a journey to create an audience. So in this case, after you create it in here, you will have it available on advertising audiences. And it is important that you want to update the, give me a second. If you want to update the refresh settings, you will have to update it in here. You won't be able to do it in here, but that's okay because you can only go in here and the refresh and notification settings, it will be available to edit in here. So great, you have your audience created, and that will be it. Remember, you have all these accounts in here available to use it and create an audience in here. But we also have an additional functionality that it is an ad campaign. This is specifically for Facebook. So we will be able, and here we are going to go into my presentation, 1 second. Great. So in here, you have to drag and drop your ad campaign activity in the canvas. You have to create first your audience. That this is the same step that we saw previously, but right now we are going to use it to create the complete campaign, not only the audience. So you will put in here the name, you will put in here the ad account, you will put in here the data origin, and you will do the mapping. That is going to be exactly the same as with the ad audience. And after that, you will have the possibility to configure your creative. So you have in here, for example, your creative name, your text, your URL, your headline. You have the possibility also to put or select the call to action. And you have in here the possibility to select your image. If you don't like it, it doesn't matter. You can change it. And you can, after that, you will be able to configure the rest of your campaign. So in here, we configure everything about the creative. And in here, you will select the rest of the campaign. So you will put the total spent, for example, in here, of your campaign, the daily budget, a special ad category. This is really important because this is a required field for your ad campaign. And in here, it is also really important that before trying to use this ad campaign functionality, you know which are the supported currencies. Currently, you have all these available. I know there are not all the currencies available, but we hope like we will have all of them available in future releases. And also, it is important that to optimize your campaign, we recommend a minimum of 100 per day for a minimum audience size of 1,000. So this is just, you configure your budget, you configure your special category, and you confirm your campaign name. And that will be it. As you can see, it is actually a pretty easy to use functionality. You only you will be selecting the things, and this menu will guide you with the things that you have to fill to create your ad campaign. So as you can see, all these functionalities of Advertising Studio are really easy to use. They don't need much configuration. So right now we are going to see the last one, that it is lead capture. Lead capture, initially, as you can see in my demo account, I have in here lead capture enable. And you will see it in there if you have like an older version of Marketing Cloud. But if you have a newest version of Marketing Cloud, lead capture is going to, you won't find the lead capture functionality or feature in there. You will have to download it from the App Exchange. It is free, so that's a good thing. You don't have to pay anything. And now, since it is an application in the App Exchange, you have the possibility to download it to Marketing Cloud or to Sales Cloud. So, um, but what it is actually lead capture? Lead capture connects your Facebook advertising leads with Marketing Cloud that extension or Sales Cloud lead objects in real time. So if you don't see it in here in your account, don't worry, because you go in here to the App Exchange and you look for lead capture, and you will find in here a second lead capture for Marketing Cloud or Salesforce lead capture. We're going to review both of them today, because the flow or the wizard, it is really similar. But it is important that you know it depends of the use cases or the form that you are trying to sync where you're going to do it. Because maybe if it is a promotional form, you want to do it in here in Marketing Cloud. But if, for example, it's a lead capture form, then in that case, you will want to do it in the Sales Cloud side. Great. So give me a second. Here you have the possibility to connect your Facebook advertising leads. So after you install your package in Sales or in Marketing Cloud, these are the steps that you are going to follow. The first one, it is create a new lead capture task. So in here, the only thing that you have to do is to select your account, your Facebook page that you are going to take the lead form from. So in here, you select your Facebook page. The next step will be to select your the forms that you want to connect with Marketing Cloud or with Sales Cloud. So in here, you select. And after that, if you are using this feature in Sales Cloud, you will have the possibility to create in here the mapping of the fields that you already have. This is the mapping for the lead object. So in here, for example, we have last name, and in here you have all your Salesforce fields, and in here you will have all the fields for your form. As you can see in this print capture, you have in here also Facebook ad ID, you have Facebook ad name, that these are native fields that you have in your Facebook form field. But maybe you don't have it in Sales Cloud. So maybe you, before doing the connection, you want to create those fields so you don't lose that information in the connection. And after that, you will be able to use the information from that fields to create reports or to identify from which specific ad account was generated this lead. So this is important that you take this decision before the connection. Are you going to create these additional fields from Facebook in your lead object or not? And which ones are you going to create? These ones are the ones that came with the connector, like Facebook ad ID, ad name, ad set ID, ad set name, campaign ID, campaign name, Facebook platform. So that will be it. And also you have the possibility to select a campaign. So all the people who fill this form, you will have the possibility to automatically be connected to a specific Salesforce campaign and the mapping of the fields. So this is what you will configure in here. And after that, you will have also the possibility to enter fixed values. This is really useful when you have, for example, mandatory values in Sales Cloud, and you know that you are not asking that information in your form. So maybe you could put like some default value in here. Or for example, you have the field lead source. And in lead source, you could put in here Facebook, for example. So you have this amazing functionality that it is going to do the mapping for the field that you are not asking in the form, like really easy to set up. Okay, that was if you were doing it in Sales Cloud. But imagine that you say, okay, but I do not want to do it in Sales Cloud. I want to do it in Marketing Cloud. So in that case, this will be the the screen that you are going to see, the first two steps are going to be exactly the same, are going to be this and this. You're going to select your page and you're going to select your forms. But after that, you are going to select in here the configuration of your data extension. Because remember that if you are using this functionality or this feature for Sales Cloud, what you are going to do, you're not going to create a new object. You are only going to map the fields with the objects that you already have, specifically to the lead object. And also, you are going to create a specific campaign, for example. But for if you're going to use it in Marketing Cloud, the person or the people who fill the form is going to be reflected in a data extension. So in here you have the setting of those data extensions. For example, there's a relationship that we know that that's how we're going to identify that our person is the same person that we have in Marketing Cloud. So we could use the email, for example, or maybe you are asking in that form for the document. So maybe those will be a good primary key. Great. After you connect in Marketing Cloud or in Sales Cloud, this is what you are going to see. You are going to see in here or your current forms, and you will have your created date and your last update. And you will be able to delete it from here and to also modify it from here. If you want to create a new one, you go in here and you create a new lead capture task. Great. So, one second. Just before going to the questions, I want to show you. I don't have actually anything connected in here, so we won't be able to see anything, but I just want to show you that you will be able to find it in here. If you have like a previous, give me a second. As you can see, this is the screen that you are going to see. You only have to create in here. You have to click on create a new task, and automatically you will have the option to log into your Facebook. So you only have to put your credential, and that will be it. That will be it. And after that, you will go to the first step, that are the ones that we saw in here in the presentation, and that will be everything. So as you can see, all these advertising studio features are really easy to configure. The connection only requires that you have the credential with the right permissions in Marketing Cloud and in your ad accounts. So it is important that you verify the permissions before doing the connection. And also for advertising audiences, it is important that you know that how many advertising audiences you have available or you have purchased with your license. And remember, this feature, that lead capture feature, is free. So you have it available for all versions. And the other ones, it depends actually of the license. So those are only a small consideration that you want to take before using these features. But as you can see, they're really easy to use. The only thing that you have to have in considerations and the minimal requirements, for example, or how you are going to do the mapping. Remember that this this feature refresh, or we have many releases. So maybe you have something that it is available in your current account, but it is not in Marketing Cloud, but maybe you will have it available for future releases. But it is important that you review before purchasing, if you want to do it, which are the current functionalities that you have available. For example, it is really important, because this happened to me in the past, that if you want to use a campaign, that you know which is the specific currencies that are supported. Because, for example, here in Argentina, Argentinian pesos are not supported. So we have some clients that had the feature enabled, but they couldn't use it because they didn't have the currency available for Marketing Cloud. So that's some important things that you have to consider before before using all these features, like which is the currency, do you have it available, do you have to download it from an app, from the app exchange, and I think that will be it. So, do you have any questions?
Thanks, Nicole, for a wonderful session out there. I believe there's a question. For all the social accounts, do we need to purchase any plans or service from these social channels, or can we post it on our ads? Post our ads on these channels?
Oh yeah, actually it depends, because for Facebook, as we saw, we have this feature enabled in Journey Builder, but for the other ones, you will have to post the ad in the original network. Advertising audiences is only going to allow you to send the audience, but it is not going to allow you to like create a full campaign in here. That's only enabled for Facebook.
Okay. I believe that question is solved. If at all you have any questions, you can still comment. Yeah. To capture better quality Facebook leads using lead capture, one could use the loyalty group for mindset engagement scoring. I'm not pretty much sure about this question. Nicole, could you please take that up?
Yeah, I actually he is saying like a hack that you could mix these functionalities of advertising audiences. For example, you have in here um, you have the possibility to create lookalikes, but you could mix this feature with the instant features. So you could take, you know, that in here you have, give me 1 second. In here you have like, oh, I don't have it enabled, but in here you will have different profiles of people. For example, you will have the loyalties, or you will have the doorman, or the people who engage more or less with opens and clicks in your emails. So for example, you could use the loyalties to create a lookalike audience, because maybe if they are engaging very well with email, maybe it will be a good idea to try to also do advertising to them in your ad account. But also, it will be a good idea not only to use it to the ones that perform the best, but also to the ones that perform the worst, because maybe they are not performing well in email, and you want to be able to explore, okay, which other channels I can use with these people, since they are not listening what I am sending to them through email. So this is a really good hack that I don't know who put it in here, but I think in this point we are going to see how powerful it is Marketing Cloud, because you don't only have the possibility to use advertising studio and one channel, but you will have the possibility to use all the data from your other channels to create these audiences more powerful.
Once again, I'm so honored to have my fellow marketing champions over the stage, delivering all their expertise over there. I can't thank enough Nicole and Jackie for being here. And it's all virtual, and you guys took out time from your busy schedule. So, yeah. So, thank you so much once again.